We gon' need this area clear. Toast to the ones that want it. Toast to the right and wrongs. I am the guy that they wrote off. They was afraid of my solo. I gave them 40 right in there for quarter. They labeled me, call me a show off. And I don't know what I did to them. Sound like a solo problem. All I'ma say about it, where the hell my cup? Now it's gone. No, my name was on it.
Turn it up, wind it up, leave it one scene tonight. Pick it up, roll it up, while we know the time. Don't ask me, don't need to know. Just moving on alone, but I won't. I had a choice and pushed it aside. I had a choice, then I made it mine. Just in my closet, it's been a long while since we did a soiree. Alright, oh boy, you had me so low. That's not what's in my soul. Got me feeling better, I'm off the clock. Who got the juice? Don't know, who knows. After this, I might not be so low, so low, so low.
Girl, me hear your solo now. Want to run the town? Let me change your mind. I can show you how. Baby girl, tell me what you need. You want to sip a liquor or we can smoke the tree? We can catch a movie or we can hit the beach. You know I'm not a saint, but I practice what I preach. Call him, say what goes around, it comes around. You're solo, but I hope you're in the night with me. That's right.
Oh boy, you had me so low. That's not what's in my soul. Got me feeling better, I'm off the clock. Who got the juice? Don't know, who knows. After this, I might not be so low, so low, so low.
I can't get enough. Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love? I feel for you. In my free time, all I seem to do is think about us.
Too many times you were the one that got away from me, but now I got you in my arms, baby, stay with me. I'm talking more than come over and spend the day with me. I say forever, I mean it, baby, just wait and see. Say I'm the lucky one, baby, I'm just grateful. You're truly my better half, it's take two. That's why I treat you like treasure, I'm so blessed. Giving you everything, all of me, no less. What can I say, it's so right. I'm thinking about where we headed, and baby, the future looks so bright. Stuck in these moments with you right now. All in my feelings got me saying I love you, planning a life now. Cause baby, this is real, real. Baby, this is love. See, baby, this is real, real. Cause
I can't get enough. Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love? I feel for you. In my free time, all I seem to do.
the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's your boy Rigo No Suave here on the 1-2-1-2. 1-2-1-2. I gotta clear my throat, everybody. It's been a crazy weekend. Yes, excuse my voice, but I am going to be here as far as with you. And you know who's also going to be here with me as well, too, to back me up? My co-host, Valerie Malacio. What's up, Valerie?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in. We've got an awesome show lined up for you today.
Yes.
You know, you need to clear your throat for a minute, right?
I need to clear my throat, like DJ Cool says.
That's right,
Yes,
that's
yeah, let me
right.
clear my throat. Yes, man. But it's gonna be it's a wonderful day here in Chicago.
Yes, it
man,
is. Oh my gosh, it
spring is here.
So pretty today.
I know it was beautiful today.
I hope it's not like a huge, psych. It was just nice today, and tomorrow it's gonna be super cold.
Super cold.
But man, it was really beautiful today. So I hope everybody enjoyed the sunshine.
Yes.
Hanging out and feeling the whole briskness of spring
That's
creeping
right.
up on us.
And
So
wherever that
hopefully-
you are, right? I'm sure there's places that's 85 degrees. I'm sure he's laughing in the background. Now, I know there's places at 85 degrees right now, and there's places that's 70 degrees and
As we were
anything
so
above
humbly
50.
reminded,
Right.
for those of you enjoying 85-degree weather right now, bless you.
Yes. All right. So let's get this show on the road, everybody. Of course, we have something major to talk about today, and it's really awesome. And of course, since this is Women's Month, hey, the late Cuban American Pacua Celia Cruz is set to make history as the first Afro-Latina to appear on a U.S. court later this year.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow, amazing.
Man, that's Descansa en paz. Celia Cruz, love you. And I have to say, even knowing that this is another step, a milestone for not just minorities, but for the black and brown. And it's a huge step, a big milestone. For something. When I saw this, I was like, wow. Yeah.
It's Women's History Month.
Yep.
And then to bring this I was very impressed with you today.
I wasn't expecting it myself until you
what?
told me about it. I was like,
impressed.
I was like, whoa.
Just so you guys know, it's March 1st. So we're
Yes.
barely at the beginning of, Women's History Month.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when Rico presented this as his what do you want to breaking news for today?
Yes. Yes.
I was like, oh wow, and it's Women's History. Good job, Rico. Good
Hey,
job.
I had to make
Good
sure
job.
I do it right. You know what I mean? Even though if I didn't know, I had to pull it out my pocket, right?
Just roll with it. Roll
I had
with
to
it.
roll
Good
with
job.
it.
Roll with it.
You know what? It's such a great segue into it. I'm glad
Such an
that
honor.
my intuition was just there.
Yeah.
But I had to do it when I saw this. I had to make sure that I recognize this. And, everything comes when it comes to music, when it comes to food, when it comes to smiles, when it comes to that glamorous smile that she has, and also the touching of what she's done for people, right? Overall, from English and Spanish,
Yes.
right? People
Yes.
from all over the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this. Long
Yes.
time coming.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, Celia Cruz.
Wish she was here, to see this happening, but
Yes.
she's dancing some salsa, in the heavens.
She got
She's
the carnaval.
right going on
En el
right
cielo.
now.
Yes, for sure. All right, everybody. We got to get ready. We got to get into this. Man, I tell you. This gentleman here, I have to say right now, he's in Disney World, right? And this is so awesome to be able to know that someone from Disney World is on our show today. This gentleman is he's a famous fragrance designer because he's have done some things as far as with Disney. That's when you become famous, right? Because Disney is all for the world, right? But also the fragrance that this gentleman has will basically make you want to wear this fragrance forever, right? Don't want you to go nowhere else. But he is here with us, and we're happy to have him here. I want you to go into your bathroom right now. Look at what you have. Put it back down. Don't even spray it. Just look at it and say, I'm going to buy something from him. Put your hands together for none other than my man, Geir Ness. Let's go. Hey, Geir, are you there, sir?
There he is.
I think we have to unmute him. Let's see if we can unmute you, sir. Are you there?
There.
All right.
there he is.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Great, great. We're doing awesome. We're doing awesome. We're happy to actually have you here with us today. And there's people that's going to be commenting. They're going to they're going to be asking questions. So of course, we want to make sure that we're asking the questions, but also we want to hear about your story. Before we get started, we love to ask our guests, do they have any shout outs that they want to give out to anyone?
Do I have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, to all the women's out there, because you was just saying there was like this month of women, right? And
Yes.
to honor them. And I will, of course, my mom is very special to me, and I'm very lucky I still have her with me.
Yes.
And she is back in Norway, in Oslo. So I'm sure she will also watch your show from there, you know. And so I just want to say to her how much I love her, and to all the women out there, because I've been working with a lot of women all over the world, and I meet them almost every day when I do when I travel. And women are if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here, right? So
That's right.
I just thank you.
Aw,
All right.
love that. Thank
Yes, you know, and
you.
that's good. But what is your mom's name?
My mom's name is Laila.
Lila.
Lila. Okay.
Oh my God. It's almost close to like a lily. Lila, like a flower. Almost.
Yeah.
Lila. Yes.
It's spelled Laila because in Norway the A is silent. So here you probably will say Leila, but in Norway we say Laila.
Okay. Well, we
Very
love you here,
nice.
Lila. We love you here, and we're so happy to have your son here with us as well. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's get it on. All right. So, Geir, let's go into the first question. Now, you have an intriguing story when coming up as a kid, growing up. Tell us a little bit in regards to you growing up and then start getting into how you met the fragrance, the first fragrance perfumer.
Sure. So I can just give you a little background. I grew up in Oslo, in Norway, and I grew up in a very small place. We had a one-bedroom apartment with 5 people, 3 brothers and my mom and dad. And we had to share the bathroom downstairs with our neighbors. We had
Oh.
very
Oh,
little
wow.
space.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think I grew up mostly outside, to be honest with you. I slept there, but we didn't have much space. So I was always up in the mountains with my mom and my dad. We spent a lot of times outdoors. And I love the smell of Norway, the beautiful fresh scent, you know, when you're out there in the woods or up in the mountains. And from a very early age, so I could separate the flowers. So when my mom was telling me about this and that flowers, she would ask me when I was very young, so what kind of flower is that, Kay? What is that? And I could separate them and tell her. And I always loved scents. I liked something, you know, it reminded me when I got older, always the mountains about my childhood, how lucky I was to have a lot of love from my parents. We didn't have money, but we have love. And that's the most important thing. Also today, I think, with all of us, to have love around us, good people, good friends or family or whatever you have around you. And that's what inspired me actually to create my first fragrance, was my childhood especially with my mom, Lila.
All right, that's awesome. I've known that there's times where growing up where, certain families will, when they live together, they live as one family. If you have a big family, you live as one, and there's only one bathroom, right? and yours was interesting because you had to go and use a neighbor's bathroom, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost like you had 2 families, right?
Yes, and you can imagine being in the winter time when we have like 20 below zero, and we had to go through 2 stairs, and the bathroom was in the basement with no heat. Yeah, so that was, but at that time when you don't know anything else, that's fine. You
Right.
get used to it, and and but we had so much love, and my parents was always there, for us. And I did a lot of sport. I could ski before I could walk. My dad was a ski trainer.
Yeah.
So I was like a year old when I could ski down the hills. Before I could-
I like that. That was like the first thing that you said, and I had to read that multiple times when you said that in your bio. He's like, I had to ski before I walk, and it's like some people say I gotta crawl before I walk, but I like the way you said it. Skiing it seems like that's fun, right? Before you can walk, right?
I'm a real Viking.
So, let's get into now. You had multiple jobs.
Yeah.
And you talked about a garage sale that really stood out. There was a garage sale. Tell us
Yeah.
about that garage sale with the suit for your interviews.
And then also you asked me the question how I met the perfumer. So I'm
Yes.
just going to go back a little bit before I tell you that story because it goes into that story.
Okay.
What happened was
Perfect.
I was doing PR and marketing, for all the fragrance line, and people asked me where I was from. And I said, Norway. And they always ask me, doesn't Norway have their own fragrance? And we never had one. So I decided, maybe I should do this myself. And one of those events I went to in Los Angeles when I was there was a big fragrance event. And next to me was a perfumer from France. And I said to him, how do you create a fragrance? And he said to me, like in the French accent, well, you have to find the ingredients that you like. It's very and I said, okay. And I said, well, what I really want is something that remind me about Norway, my childhood. And he said, well, find ingredients that you like and we can talk. And he was a retired perfumer from France and a beautiful human being. And so I did. I went back to Norway. I went to school in Los Angeles. I studied producing, directing, and acting because I did some of that in Spain for a little while. And that's why when I ended up in LA. And when I was back in Norway, I took, different herbs and flowers with me. And I met this perfumer. And we started to work together. And he started to help me to find the ingredients and everything. And the last thing I put into it was lavender extract to make it very fresh and light. And I borrowed money from a friend of mine. I maxed up my credit card. I met with Nordstrom department store. And Nordstrom said to me, Geir, we love your fragrance. It's fantastic. But you have no name, no money for advertisement. And this is harder than show business. We can't do anything with it. And I said, what about if you take it on consignment? And they normally never do that. But they said to me, okay, we're going to take in 100 bottles and see how much you sell in 1 month. And if you don't sell any, you have to take them all back. And I said, okay. And this was the day before Mother's Day, right? I'm going to launch my fragrance. So I said to myself, I've got to be very creative now. I got to do something special. So what I did, I went to a garage sale. I bought a suit for $5. And at the garage sale, they had a red carpet laying there. So I asked the guy, can I get this too? And said, sure. So I got the red carpet and then suit. Then I called up, this is 20 years ago, right? Before the cell phones was now with the camera in it. So I called a friend of mine up in class, and he was a photographer. I said, John, can you come down to Nordstrom's on Saturday and take a picture of me and pretend that I'm a big celebrity from Europe? And he said, Geir, I would love to, but I had no film in my camera, and I can't afford to buy any. I said, nobody would know. Just come down and flash away and make it happen.
There was
So-
no film in it?
So he came.
Wow.
He came down to the store and started to flash. I got a couple of friends of mine coming into Nordstrom and said, oh my God, I can't believe he's here, making a big deal out of it, right? And people started to line up. And in 1 hour, people were like a huge line. And I started to sell. And little more than an hour, I sold out all the bottles. I have like 30, 40 people on a waiting list. And that's how I started with Nordstrom's. Everything was sold out. And
Let's go, man.
so
Let me see if I understand this correctly. So you manufactured a celebrity appearance.
yes.
So you created this red carpet, walked out there. Well, it was you. You are from Europe, so
Right.
Well, you're from Norway.
And
You had people coming and making a big deal about you,
Right.
and a camera was flashing that had no film.
Right.
That's genius.
Story. And I learned, because I also was a tour guide for a couple of years in Spain, and you have to really work hard. And when I created this fragrance, I had no money. I sold actually also my own clothes at a garage sale to make rent. And I said I only have one day, 1 hour to do this. I had to be creative. And I learned that, from me being a tour guide, take care of myself from a very young age, that you got to think outside the box, right? Because we all say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And yes, you can, but you have to believe in yourself 110% and and have a goal. And I had a goal always when I decided to do this, that this is going to be the best fragrance in the world. And I just have to go for it. And that's what I did. And I got such a response. Of course, people love the fragrance as well. And I was, convinced that if one person didn't like it, I thought that person must be crazy because this is the best fragrance. And and it was very interesting because I got such a great feedback. And a lot of people say, I can smell Norway. I've been to Norway. This is a Norway smell. And that's what I wanted. I want something fresh, clean, and light that people feel good about. And, little sexy, different than other fragrances out there. And I think that's what I captured in the fragrance. And I copied my mom's signature without her knowing it. And I still screened her name on the bottle, and I gave it to her for Mother's Day. So Lila, she asked me, it's my mom's name. And since I put my mom's name on the bottle, I had to take really good care of it too. So that's the name. Lila was the first fragrance that I created and named it after her.
Come on, man.
Come on, this has got to be one of the best stories I've ever heard. I mean, this is what we're doing wrong, Rick.
That's it.
We need to bring cameras and have them flashing on you everywhere we go. Where's Beatrice? Can we make this happen?
The one she said, make sure there's flash everywhere, right? Here, one thing I have to say about the one thing I love about this story is I used to go to garage sales, right? I used to go to garage sales back in the day, and I love garage sales because it's almost like going to a second. Sales. You still go to garage sales, and there's like it's like a secondhand store from other people, like little entrepreneurs, right, or local businesses, right, at their homes. The cool thing about what you did, I could picture myself doing the same exact thing to get a $5 suit and wear it like it was $1,000, right? But I think I commend your creativity, though. I have to commend that because
it's genius.
You answered the question for me as well, because how did you get 100 bottles sold just by not just by your mom's name, because it's a beautiful name, but also how did you get them to all love the smell of Norway? And of course, forget the one hater, forget the one person, right? The one hater, right? But you also had those 99 bottles that was actually, you sold 100, right? 99 positive notes on this, and it was like it was a dream come true, right? It's something like, well, if I put 100 bottles out there, automatically you're thinking, well, half of them might like it, half of them may not.
Well, I think it's the confidence level.
He
knew the fragrance was good.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of getting the attention of people to actually try it.
Yeah.
So if they think this big celebrity's there and they're like, oh, we're the first ones to get this premiere fragrance. That's genius.
I had my pictures of me signing them and making a big deal. So when people are buying it, the whole thing, And
I love that.
Something was funny. There's one woman come up to me. She's there in line, and she had Chanel from top to toe, right, and all this way. And she said, "Darling, I can tell that that suit is beautiful. They must be from Europe, And I bought the suit for $5 around the corner. I was just
Did
smiling.
you say yes? It is.
I just smiled and then okay, and continue. So yeah, it was interesting.
Dude, that is, I would have loved to be there during that time when you were actually doing your thing, and just to relive that and say, oh my God, until this time now, I'll be like, dude, you are a genius, right?
Seriously.
You are a genius at that.
Serious.
That was amazing.
That's got to be one of the best marketing strategies of all time.
Right.
Especially at that time when there's no social media.
Yeah.
All you have is the crowd around you.
Right.
You know?
You've been a salesperson, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think also with the story, I've told it to many times, and I've been to schools to talk to students, and if they have a dream or if they're working on something, or people come up to me and say, you have to believe in yourself, because if you don't, nobody else believe in you. It's like the same with anything. We got to believe in what we do. And of course, I was creating with all that, but you got to believe in it and have a goal, right? And looking at it and say, okay, this is what I want with it. And even if that doesn't really happen, but it's important that you do that. And I've seen that with so many things that I've done after that, how important that is. And also surround yourself with good energy. It's also very important.
Yes.
Yes.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, that is.
I love this story.
Yeah,
this
story will always stick in my head ever since I read it, right? And I'm like, this story right here is like, back in the day, it was just your timing. The timing was perfect.
Yeah, and it's like
Timing
that
was
old
perfect.
saying. He actually walked the walk of that saying.
Yes.
You believe it, you can achieve it.
Right.
You always hear people with that slogan, right?
Right.
You truly put it all out there and made it happen. Like, that is so commendable. Congratulations. And here you are moving forward to where you are today.
Fun.
Moving forward with our interview, you mind if I jump in with a question?
Got it.
Okay. So I was kind of taking a peek around your website, and I noticed that you had a product called Voff. Am I pronouncing that right?
Well, in Norway we said woof, woof, woof.
Oh, woof.
Like woof.
Like woof.
Woof. Right.
Oh, I completely chopped that up.
Right.
Sorry, guys. Woof, woof, woof.
But see,
So
in Norway,
let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So what happened is I do a lot of volunteer work for the animal shelters. And what I realized talking to the people there is there's so little, a lot of the dogs have problem with the skin. And there's so little on the market that is made for really sensitive and skin. So I started to work, and I said, you know what? I wanted to create a shampoo for dogs, especially for dogs that have problem with the skin, and it's more plant-based. So I started to work with some experts in that field, and we come up with a plant-based shampoo, and I wanted a logo with a happy dog. And I called up a friend of mine, and his name is Chris, and he actually created Lilo and Stitch, the movie with Disney. Yeah. So I called him up one day. I said, Chris, I wanted a logo for my new dog shampoo, but I want a happy dog with my personality in it. So he said, well, Geir, just send me some fun picture of you. So I did, and he made me as a dog and put the logo on it. And I named it Woof, Woof, Woof. And we launched it in Disney World, the shampoo. And I also have a dog mist. So if a dog doesn't smell great, you can just spray a little bit on him and also moisturize his skin at the same time. So the brand is called Woof Woof Woof, and I have it, of course, on my website. Some special boutiques. A lot of groomers now asking for it because they bought it one time and it's such a great feedback for so they're buying it again and again. So I'm going to start to get it now more out in the United States, and it's also, of course, in Disney World that we launched it, and it's doing really well, and we get really good feedback, and the feedback is exactly like a lot of dogs. It's the first time we can actually have a shampoo without it scratching and stop scratching itself. So it's a really good, and it's all plant-based, which is great too for the skin of the dogs.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
That's so great. We were just talking about how big animal products they've expanded.
Yeah.
To clothing lines and skin products. That's so great because, they have skin, they get chafed skin and irritable skin, just like other forms of life. So that's great. That's
Right.
wonderful. Thank you for giving us that background. And do you still do a lot of volunteering at the shelters, or was
Yeah,
that just?
dude, I work with several one of them, and the one that I've been most tied into is in California, in Palm Springs. They're called Palm Springs Animal Shelters, and they're doing a phenomenal job. First, there was the no-kill shelters, so they will always find a place to the dog, or they stay there. They have hours that they play with the dogs. We find home for them. So what I will usually do is walk them and also find home for them. I will take the dog to the people instead of like them coming there also, because sometimes when you go into a shelters, it's overwhelming. The dogs get excited and they all barks and you think, oh my God, but if you take them away from that, it's a different environment, and then they can also meet the dog and see how it works with them. But most of those animals are so wonderful, and they all need a home. And of course, sometimes it's harder to get adopted a bigger dog, because a lot of people want a smaller dog sometimes, but the bigger dogs also need a home. And so many people actually say, oh, actually I can have one, it's okay. And they have changed the life for so many people, to have an animal in their home. And also you try to follow up after they get the dog, what happened to the dog after that, after 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months. So we're trying to figure out how to connect with them again and find out how the dog is doing, and follow up is important as well. But what I love to see is just to see how many people that really had helped them as well as the dog. So it's going both ways, And for me, the hardest part for me is to go in there and start to know the dogs, and then you have to leave them, because I personally right now can't have a dog. I travel too much. Before the pandemics, I travel over 300 days a year. So it's hard for me to have a dog, but what I do, I try to find home for them and take care of them when I can in between my traveling.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
Before we get to a commercial break, I have to say I do commend you, because you're humble at heart when it comes to dogs. 'Cause I've had a lot of dogs as far as in my life when it comes to actually taking care of them. But I also watch, it's funny, I watch Animal Planet, Pit Bulls and Parolees. And one of the things is that it's such a great way to know that a dog or an animal that you connect with, right, can really change the way your home is. Because your home could be boring at the very beginning, but when you put a dog or something of a lively pet in your house, it changes the atmosphere every time you walk in, right?
Yeah.
So it's such a great thing
It's
in
great
regards
for
to
mental
that.
health. So they have emotional pets, or what are they called? Did I say that right?
The emotional pet, like the service dogs,
yeah.
that actually helps with different. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're like support, animals.
Yeah,
So
supporters.
they would give
Dogs
for like
take
emotional
dogs
support.
to homes, for people that's that lonely, that they can pet them and everything,
Depression.
and take around. People have been traumatized and everything, So it's a wonderful thing, absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, so what you already know, everybody. We already have, don't try and scratch your screen right now, because he's a fragrance designer, right? Don't try to get the Norway sniff going on right now, right? Don't try to get the scratch and sniff going on right now. But we have our man Geir Ness, the famous fragrance designer, here with us on the Rico No Suave Talk Show. My co-host Valerie Melesio. We're gonna be back in 30 seconds, everybody. We'll take a quick commercial break. Be right back.
We'll be right back. And we are back.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We had none other than my man Geir Ness, the famous
Yes.
fragrance designer. You know, since we're at the half of the hour, and of course this is going by fast because we're having fun, right? One of the things about, you know, the French guy, we call him Frenchie, right? The French guy, right? That actually came to help you put this design together. Now, of course, there's chemicals, of course, the things that you have to be. And every time I think about a fragrance or I think about chemicals, because I used to take science classes, right? Even when I was in college, I took science. I'm like, man, putting these things together and getting into a lab to be able to produce some great stuff, right? For the world to either smell or to get better. How did you come about making more products in regards to just before, you know, your mom, Lily, right? How did that work out as far as making new products after that?
So, okay, so after the fragrance started to take off, because I was in one store first, right? And then it was 2 stores, 3 stores, 4 stores. I got into more and more stores. So I started to make a little money, you know, little by little. And then I decided that I had to come up with a lotion for dry skin because a lot of people have problems with dry skin. So I find out that the second most selling products in this line are a hand and body cream for dry skin. So I worked on that to come up with something that was not greasy, that you can get right on. And what I did when I did promotion and finally come up with the cream, I gave people hand massages that they could feel the cream and oh my God, you know, and that's how I started with the body cream. And after that, I had a body wash, like a shower gel. So in the same scent. So everything is in the same scent as the Lilac fragrance in the beginning. And then I decided, so many people asked me, do you have a fragrance for men? And I didn't, you know, but I wanted to have a scent for men. And I did kind of the same thing then, but then I got my name out a little more, so I didn't have to put on a $5 suit anymore. Then I come up with a men's fragrance, but with this one, I wanted a little more earthy. So it's a little more of, you can say like woods, lavender, citrus, has a little more of those different woodsy notes in it. And I couldn't come up with a better name, so I named it after myself, Geir. So people say, how do you pronounce it? I said, Geir, shift it in gear and go.
I love that.
So as far as those products, though, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, I just say that. So now I have a men's fragrance, Geir and Lila. Those are the 2 first items that I started with. And with Geir also, I have face cleanser and scrubs and all that as well. But I started with the fragrance with both of them, and I just expanded it little by little. It's important I think in any business, you start to do step by step. Don't try to do too much, you know. And of course, a lot of people also starting their company with money, which I didn't. So I couldn't afford to do it anyway, even if I wanted to. But I have seen now how important it is not to do too much. Do little by little, step by step. Yeah. And it's important in any business. Some people try to do everything, you know. And people say to me, why don't you come up with a T-shirt? Why don't you do underwear? Why don't you do this and this?
Underwear.
Slow your gears, okay? Slow your gears, right?
So I always did baby steps, little by little, you know. And after that, you know, I started also, after the Geir, I started to do skincare line, you know, like moisturizer. I had eye serum for puffiness and dark circle. I have face masks. I have all that. And the main ingredients, it's a berry in Norway called cloudberry. It's like an orange little berry, and it actually has more vitamin C than an orange. And what it does, it goes into your skin and works from the inside out. And that calls Skin of Norway. So it's all about Norway.
That's awesome.
I would definitely have to look a little more closely at your product line, because I kind of just checked things out, and I saw to see, like, because it's pretty expansive. Yeah. You know, it has the men's, the women's, the pets.
Yeah.
You know, so the products.
Are you in a lab? I'm sorry. I want to ask so I want to make sure that going into the lab, the science lab, right? Dexter, the science lab, right? So, right. So when you're actually putting the products together, is it you that you're putting the products together, the chemicals, and making this happen, and then you have people distribute them?
Yeah, so I work with a perfumer. So what I do, I design the fragrance, meaning that I decide what's going to be in it, this and this oil and that and that, and they put it together and we try it out. And if it doesn't work, we had to redo it. The first fragrance, actually, from I started, if people probably thought I did this in 5 minutes, it took almost 40 years from I started to it was finished. So it's a long process. No, other fragrances can do faster, but in the first one was the first one I did. And I worked for a lot of other fragrance line while I was working with my own. So I learned what people wanted and what they didn't like. And I realized today, most people want something that they feel good about, something fresh and light. And of course, there are people that want something heavy. They want something more, very heavy floral or whatever. For me, it was important, as I said earlier, to make it like you feel, you're up in the mountains of Norway. You feel fresh, you feel clean, you feel light, you feel sexy, you feel all those, emotions. That's what I wanted in my fragrance. And that took me to my next fragrance that I worked on for Disney. Maybe you have the fragrance I did for them a few years ago with the movie
Frozen.
Yes. What happened with that fragrance, the movie Frozen is supposed to take part in Norway, right? While working with Disney with my other fragrances, I was talking to them and we talked about then I want to do a fragrance that was inspired by the movie. So I had a lot of meetings with Disney and I come up with a name. I said I wanted to capture all the elements kind of that you see in the movie inside this fragrance. The glacier, the snow. I mean, all of that I wanted to capture and put it into a bottle. So that's why it's called Frozen in a Bottle. And it was interesting when I launched it in Disney World. That's exactly what people said. Oh my God, this is what I thought it's going to smell like. You know what I mean? So that's what
it smells like snow.
Right.
that fragrance was a limited edition while the movie was going on. And of course, it sold out. And it was a great experience to work very closely with Disney because my other fragrances, I created, basically without Disney. This was with Disney, and just to see how professional Disney are, and it of course for me to work with this huge company like Disney was different. I had to go through a lot of things to get things approved and all that, but I learned so much from it, and I have a wonderful relationship with Disney, and I'm so thankful to for them to want me to do this for this movie. And it was interesting too when I did my last promotion it was right before the pandemic. I did a big promotion in Times Square with Disney and at the Disney store. And then right before I was going to be there, I think it was from 12 to 4. Right before 12 o'clock, they call it backstage. So I was in a room backstage and they going to have me escorted out at 12 and they were playing Let It Go, Let It Go. And I'm coming out. Down the escalator, waiting for me to come. I feel like, I was like Elsa or something. It was.
That was awesome. I have to say, just by you alone having these fragrances and, having, the steps to be able to get into Disney is a big milestone.
Oh my God, that must have felt amazing.
It had to feel like those moments of happiness for not just for adults, but also for kids as well too, because kids, of course, have watched the movie as well, and for you to be able to touch their lives when it comes to fragrance, and also for you to be able to come out. Now, did you start signing autographs at Times Square?
And one woman, she had told me, I drove here. It took me 5 hours to get there, Mr. Ness, just to get your sign. And she had a huge, almost like a poster of me. She probably had printed it out somehow from somewhere. I don't know. She wanted to sign it and stuff, and and hugged me and cried and thanked me for being there.
Oh,
Oh my
nice.
It's so I have so many amazing stories, and I take nothing for granted. And I was like, I met people that named their daughter after my perfume, Lila. And Disney, this little girl come up to me and said, "My name is Lila." Really?
Oh.
And mom goes, "Yeah, we named it after your fragrance because we met, we were in Disney World and with the fragrance and the whole thing." And I have met several people with that story that they named their daughter. That's how much this fragrance means to them, And I'm like, it just I had to like what, It's just so sweet to get all these stories. And when I'm in Disney World now too, people come up to me and tell me how much it means to them. And it's not just to sell something, but for me, it's also to see the feedback and how much these fragrances mean to people. They have a story. They think about Disney or think about, whatever, the month, whatever it is, or they met somebody. And some people, I can tell you one fun story. I think you guys will like this story. This was several years ago. I was at Disney World. The guy come up to me and he was saying to me, "Mr. Ness, I just have to tell you this story that you won't believe what happened." I said, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "Well, I go into this bank to pay my bills." And he said it was packed with people. And he smelled somebody behind him. He said, "God, I smelled somebody that smelled so wonderful." And I turned around, he told me, and this woman was there. And because "I think you're smelling me," she said it laughing and said, "Well, I'm wearing this fragrance, from this Norwegian guy and blah, blah, blah." And they were talking and they liked each other. So he gave her his phone number. And a few weeks later, she called him up and they started actually to date. And he told me this after him. They like it so much. So they now from dating, they got engaged, they got married, and they got a little girl that they named after my fragrance, Lila. And when he was telling me that, he said, "Hold on a second." He goes outside and he came in with this little girl and his wife and said, "This is little Lila," and taking a picture with me and everything in Disney World. So,
Wow.
I get stories like that, and it's unbelievable. And I just love, being there and hear the stories. And that's what I like really the most with what I'm doing right now is the feedback, and that actually had changed people's life and make life better or create a family or whatever it is, I'm just so thankful for all of them and all these wonderful things that I've been able to do. And now I'm trying to give back for what I've gotten. That's why I volunteer for animal shelters and for abused, children, for cancer, whatever I can do to give back, because it's, that's what we're supposed to do. I think that's what I'm here, to do. So
I love that. And you hit the nail right on the head, because that's what it's really about. You put these goggles on what I can get out of things. But in the end of the day, it's about being of service.
Yes.
Like, when we started this show, it was like, oh, cool, we're going to do some interviews. And then it took on a whole new meaning,
man, a whole new level.
Showcasing people's journeys and lives that it's actually touching. It's amazing how life takes a turn like that. You probably, when you created that fragrance for your mother, and then to hear this amazing story about this couple who met, and then to run into them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think you touched, I think before we take another quick break, I think you touched people through your fragrance. And what happens is that they wind up getting married because of you, because of how you made them feel towards each other. They want to be around each other.
Yeah.
Like there's some people that say,
She
"Oh,
smells
I
so
love."
good.
Exactly. He's like, "She smells so good. I can smell her every day." Right. And then next thing you know, the gear was in place. Right. And then what happened is that she was like, "Oh, well, let's go out on a date. Okay, well, make sure you smell like that the next time I see you." He's like, "Okay, no problem." Boom. Then they all of a sudden had a kid. Right. And then the kid Lila. And I think what you're doing is it's a blessing that you were part of that whole journey. and you're probably doing it for multiple people. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that love, your fragrance and things that you're doing, and you're just connecting people together.
Well, you know, fragrances are kind of fickle like that. They don't smell the same on everybody.
Correct.
So they say that the fragrances actually choose the people.
Yeah.
You wear them and your body chemistry has to mesh with it.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you have to be around somebody who actually appreciates that scent.
Yeah.
There's a whole big, thing going on.
I don't put on too much. I don't put on too much of the fragrance. But what I do, I tell you, sometimes I feel like Old Spice. You know what I mean? I just want.
You are Old Spice.
All right, my man. We have Geir Ness, the fragrance designer, on the show with us, everybody. All right, of course, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to tell you a little bit about something that we have as a commercial that you will be involved in if you would love this as well. So we have commercial pricing, everybody. The Rigono Suave show has grown, and we're over 10,000 views per month. And this is, of course, the 3 different packages that we do offer, and these are really, really great. So if you're a local business or even if you're a big business, I would say take advantage of this because, our people do watch the show, right? And they love the products that we also have. We have some people that was Car Shield, right? We also have people that actually were selling homes. We also had tax debt, right? As well. So we had a few commercials that people took advantage of. And
Absolutely.
If you have that as well, there's 3 different packages, 45, 95, 145. 2 shows for the 45, 30-second. Each commercial can be 30-second commercial. Make sure your logo on the website with the social media hyperlink, and that goes across all 3. So, of course, you can see the differences of the shows.
And you know what's great about this pricing package is it's priced out. There's something for everybody's budget.
Exactly.
So it's not just anything local. We are very much global.
Global.
So whatever city, country you're in, feel free to reach out and we can make this happen.
And local businesses, meaning that whatever state you're in is local, right? So the local businesses that you could be in Phoenix, local business.
Where you are at.
Yeah, exactly. So that is our commercial pricing, everybody. Don't forget to let everybody know because we are here for you. Let's get back to the interview. Let's go. All right.
Yes. Great commercial.
Great commercial. Yes. Geir, are you having a great time with us?
Love it. I love you guys. I love your energy and everything. Yeah, it's wonderful being here.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thank you. We love you too. We definitely love you too. And moms. Lila. We love moms too. Lila.
Which was another one of my questions, but you had already answered that. What was the inspiration behind Lila? I think that's such a great story.
Yes. All right. So, there's so much to talk about when it comes to you. And you being in Disney World right now, right?
Yes.
And it's such a great time because we can actually say we just talked to somebody from Disney, right?
Right.
That was in Disney World. That's actually doing some great things. You know what intrigued me about you doing Frozen and also being in Disney, when you actually produced this, is this scent just for adults or is it also for kids as well? Because kids like to play around as far as with scents and stuff.
Yeah. No, that particular fragrance was actually from all ages, obviously, because of the movie and it's drawn by probably younger. But what happened with the movie Frozen, it was lots of adults went to see the movie by themselves too. There wasn't just a kid movie,
True,
it's from
true.
The storyline is so great too that you see usually in a lot of movies like that there will be like a prince that coming and save it. This will actually women. You know what I mean? Again, it's a women's month, right? So that it was too strong, like a sister that saved her sister. And it's, it shows it was different. The whole movie was different. I think that's why it appealed to so many people too, younger and older. So to answer your question, the fragrance was for both younger and older, for kids, for their mom again, for like all ages. And I think that's what it did so well with it too, the fragrance. It wasn't just for one particular age group. It was from all of them. And what happened was after that sold out, I decided I want to continue with something similar. So then I launched a new fragrance again called Norwegian Snow or as we say it in Norwegian, norsk snø. And that's snow too. Yeah.
Snow.
That's also, I also launched that in Disney World first. It's all about Mickey Mouse.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I like that.
Another Disney-inspired fragrance.
So is that part of Disney as well too, or was it just something that you want to make something similar?
No, so I just wanted something. No, this one is something that I created, outside Disney, but Disney wanted it also to be there and asked me if we could, launch it there. So we launched it at exclusive in the beginning, Norwegian Snow. It was in November, and because I have such a good relationship with Disney, and I love going to Disney. I'm like a little kid. It's like,
yes,
I'm like a huge Disney fan. So for me, just to do this and be there with them and be able to do this new fragrance was also wonderful. So what happened, we launched it in Disney World, and I was there for a week signing and all that. And I also did the fragrance. We had like a gift. I also designed handbags, for my fragrances too. So instead of having a set, like a package, I do like different handbags every season. And I also designed them for some fashion weeks, fashion shows.
Yeah.
And they were successful. So what I did, I wanted those bags to be part of my fragrances. So now it's been so popular, even also with Nordstrom's, when I have it in Nordstrom's or Disney World. So every season I'm changing them. People collect them. One woman come up to me last time in Disney World. She showed me 18 different bags she had in her living room displayed from years of me doing this. It was so funny. So yeah,
that's cool. That's like having a jersey for every for every team.
People like to have their collections.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense.
And also with the snow fragrance now too. I have my and the cream for dry skin inside these handbags. And some of them are reversible, some of them are crossbody, some of them. So I do different ones. So that's part of what I do right now too. I design them and I come up with different things for every season. Every spring, every fall, I have a new fragrance design with the purses coming out.
That is so cool.
That is the bomb.
I love that.
That is the bomb.
Who doesn't like a new purse? I mean,
well,
so
ladies.
Now we have snow all year round. I guarantee snow for Christmas. That was my slogan before Christmas. I guarantee snow for everybody for Christmas. Really? Yes. Here's snow.
Here in Chicago, we can only take snow for so long. But what we could say is we will have your Norwegian snow with us all year around. As long as we know that it's from you, we'll always wear it, of course.
Of course.
Yes. So, we're down to our last 6 minutes. And of course we had such a great time as far as with you.
Can I pick one question to ask?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask real quick about the products. When you're making, men's versus women's, like which products do you feel are most challenging? Is it the women's products or the men's?
That's a very good question. Because the women's, I started with the women's, right? So and I've been working with the women. So it's probably easier for me in a way to make the women's fragrance in the beginning. They're both a challenge because you never know when you start a project what it's going to smell like. You have a vision and that's what you wanted. But if you like some of the oils separately and if you mix them together, it can be totally different. I feel like I worked longer with my women's fragrance. The first one, Lila. Geir, the men's fragrance, took a long time too, but it wasn't as long as the Lila because I learned from it what I should do more. And I think the challenging thing for me was to find a fragrance that most people will like because you can't, some people will like different things. But at both of them, I want something clean and light. With both the men's and the women's fragrance. so I also want to combine them so they can smell good they complement each other, right? If you were wearing, Valerie, if you were wearing Lila and Rico was wearing Gear, I want them to complement each other so they smell good together, as a couple. And that was a challenging thing for me to come up with and do the Gear. I want Gear to really match Lila, and since Lila was already there, it was a little more challenging thing for me to do the men's fragrance. But I think I did it pretty okay, and people that say that they love it together, and you can actually mix them together too, if you want to. And that's where also no fragrance. Yeah, you can mix them all together. And a lot of people are allergic sensitive. Most people can actually wear them because of the oil in there are so clean and light. So most people can actually tolerate it. People coming in and say, "Oh my God, I have asthma and everything, but it's the first time I can wear a fragrance," And that's what I wanted with these fragrances too. Clean, light, that most people can actually wear without being, if you're allergic or sensitive. So most people can like it.
That's awesome. I have that was a very good one because I know you were focusing more on the ladies, and of course me being a man and I love cologne as well too. I was like, I hope he put it in Gear to actually have more stuff for the men, right? And I'm sorry,
shift it in Gear and go.
Shift it in Gear and go.
Get in Gear.
Right. We got some shirt slogans for you as well too. But I do have something for you, right? You as being a famous, in our eyes, a famous fragrance designer, and your milestones and things that you have done, we have a shirt for you. And this shirt is the Rico No Suave show shirt.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
Yes. So this shirt means a lot, to us, from us to you, because of your milestones, right? From getting that $5 suit, I probably would have been next to you buying the same suit, right? If it was right. Hey, give it to me for $4. You can charge him $5, right? And then on the red carpet, right? And all of the things as far as with being able to get in contact with Frenchie, and then Frenchie comes and say, "Hey, I got something for you." And then, what really touches me is the way you used your intellect to be able to make that photographer make you look like a superstar with a $5 suit, and the lady said that must have been from Europe, right? And I'm like, oh, I love this. This is an awesome story. And then of course, by you going to and building, and then Disney being a big one, right? And I'm sure you've done other things as far as with other vendors, and also just staying humble with animals, right? I think this shirt here just tells us that when you put this on, you are a king, right? And when you put this on, you are a gem of the world. So we want to wish you nothing but the best, but this is part of the Rico No Suave show family. Let's go. Yes. So before we get out of here, we do have to show everyone how they can get in contact with you as well. So we do have your social media, right? Social media. So the first one is gearness.com. That is your website, right? So your website is where everyone can actually find out everything about you and all of your products. And they can say, "Hey, Rico No Suave show. I saw it on the Rico No Suave show." All right, cool. No problem. Pay regular price, right? And then we go.
No
discounts, right? And then we have the next one on social media. We do have Instagram. So Geir Ness, right? Geir Ness is your social media for Instagram. Guys, make sure you go ahead and follow him on his Instagram. Here's the next one. Facebook, boom. Yes, Geir space Ness. Now I put Geir space Ness. Is there a space in there?
It's just Geir Ness, never a mess.
Geir Ness, never a mess.
Never a mess.
Never a mess. I like that. Geir Ness, yes, that is Facebook. And then I have Twitter, right? Geir Ness, right? At Geir Ness, everybody on Twitter. Make sure you follow everything he's saying on the daily, fragrance of smells and products and all of that great stuff. Make sure you go ahead and support him. Geir, we hate to see you go.
Such a great interview.
We wish we could fly out there right now and be with you at Disney.
And the 85 degrees.
Yes, 85 degrees.
Ooh, burr.
But I want to thank you so much. Hey, Geir, I want to thank you so much. We are, of course, we'll be sending this out to you as well, and we can't wait to try your products as well too. Always use us as a product for you, as well as if you have any events or whatsoever. We do live shows as well. So if you ever need us to be able to host any events that you're having, the Rico No Suave show is here for you.
Happy to meet you in Orlando.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, put your hands together. My man, Geir Ness. We'll see you next time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
everybody. That was none other than my man, Geir Ness. Man, I had such a great time. His story is amazing. His story is amazing.
I was not expecting some of the story. Like, I know we got in his Discovery package, we were reading about him.
Yes.
But I love that story.
Yeah, that was a fabulous story. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself today, but we got to show you our social media before we get out of here. So www.riconosuaveshow.com, everybody, is where you'll find more information about us. We have a new website. We're always updating our website as well too. So make sure you go there and check us out there. Here's the next one. Boom. Yes, you already know it is Instagram. Make sure you go to Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you go there and follow us there now. Do it now. Right now. Thank you. All right, here's the next one.
Right now.
All right, Facebook. Yes, Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you go ahead and like, and
love.
That's what she said. All right, everybody. So Facebook it is. Let's go to the next one. YouTubers. Yes, everybody that's on YouTube, subscribe now. If you subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Just subscribe. That's all I ask.
Make sure you subscribe again.
Yeah, just subscribe again. Forget about it, right? And don't forget to make sure you continue to comment and like this video and share it with your friends and family. All right, here's the next one. Boom. Mixcloud, baby. Yes, mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show. That is where you will find more information about us. It turns into a podcast, so it turns into audio. So go ahead and follow us there on the Rico No Suave Show. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. We want to thank you guys so much. Next week, we have Dr. Angel White, a local doctor that is going to be from Chicago, right? That will be here in the loft with us. We'll be talking everything about health. So make sure you tune in with us. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys next time here on the Rico No Suave Show as we end off the show just like this.